Deepening democratic practice and governance in Nigeria is what we're going to be looking at this time around. And with us on this platform, starting from my immediate left, I have the General Overseer of Faith Pillars Gospel Center, who is also a legal practitioner, Dr. Patrick Awo-Saige. Thanks for coming.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And good morning, viewers.
And next to him is a human rights activist, a clergyman, a public affairs analyst, and he is also the General Overseer of Sword of Liberation Bible Church, Bishop Austin Igbasan. Thanks for joining me, Bishop.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers, and I salute you guys.
All right, let me start with you, Bishop. We have this issue about Nigeria. You know, Nigeria turned, we had this democracy anniversary on June 12th, on Sunday, and was given public holiday yesterday. And we are looking at how far we've gone in the democratic practice in Nigeria. Will you say that we are there now? Or are we there yet? Or what could be factors that could be hindering us from getting there?
Number one is that we are not yet there, and we are not preparing to be there, because the people on board, they deliberately designed that democracy is not the government of the people. We have a different interpretation in our own democracy here, and I think it's not the interpretation of the real democracy, because in our own democracy, the people are not at the apex. When you look at democracy, the government of the people, by the people, for the people. So the apex part of the triangle talks about the people. The leadership is down the line, because the people ought to be the pivotal point where we determine what happened, the desire of the people, the way they want to be governed, the voice of the people, the cry of the people, the feelings of the people, and the pain of the people ought to be the major objective of democracy. But as far as we are concerned, our democracy has been the government of the leadership. If you see, we talk about change begin with me. It's a slogan of this government. And I want to see that, you see that the numbers of government appointees and also the people elected, like the president, the governors, how many of them have reduced their convoy? The changes begin with me. Now, the change begin with me. Our the tariff, electricity tariff was increased. Fuel was increased, VAT was increased. Now we want to introduce communication with that. When the poor man calls for 1 minute, he pays again for it. And there is no change that starts with the people in government. They have never reduced their remuneration, their salary, what they are collecting has never been reduced. They live flamboyant life. You look at what we have just experienced. People buy phone with 100 million, yet our students are at home. Why? Because none of their children are in those schools. I have about 400 graduates in the university who have been with me at home. Now, if I'm in position of leadership, it will concern me. But you see the way people are running about 2023 election. And nobody talks about it. When it comes to ASU, they will tell you they have appointed one kangaroo tribunal to talk about it. Why have they not appointed kangaroo tribunal to talk about how much to be paid for form? You know how many people pay 100 million for form? And many of them knew they were going nowhere. And everybody collapsed into one network. And where did they get 100 million? That is not an issue to them. We have a man who took 200 billion and is back home with his family. And you said change begin with me. The man is seated in his house now, enjoying himself, 200 billion. And this is the same government that cannot take care of that. If we ask the man, bring the 200 billion and let us begin to investigate the rest and use that money and put it together and give to ASU to sort out the ASU issue. Now, my father said, if your wife is not in the market, your mother is not in the market, your brother is not in the market, your children is not in the market, how will you say market not full? Because why? It does not concern them. Come and tell me today, including Mr. President, if his children are in public university. Now, no one of them, how many of them are talking about our children returning? Because these are armies. The armies they are raising that is terrible, more terrible than terrorists, because these are educated young people that are supposed to be fully engaged now, even as we are preparing for 2023. But they decided in their own wisdom. Today we are talking about Nigeria as the capital city. the headquarter of poverty in the whole world, wide world. That's one of the achievements we have gotten. The capital city of poor people, where people are suffering. So Nigeria is a country now, under this democracy, all the things that needed to be fixed. I was talking with some persons and I said, what does it take us to man our borders? What does it take us to man our state? You remember we shout to the rooftop about remove the bottleneck so that each state can have drone. How far has it gone? Why should we even put a bottleneck for anybody to put up a drone and secure its environment, a state at that level? Now, what happens to the security vote that is being given every month to the people in position of authority? Yet we are hearing unknown gunmen, people are being kidnapped, people are being killed on daily basis, and yet as I talk to you now, I talk to you and I give reference to it, the Edo State Police Command here, they don't have tracker. How do you explain that? When young men somebody will steal their phone and they will track the phone by themselves. What does it take us as a state? How many of the police stations have the sound vehicle to really track? I give you an example of even go and ask the DPOs that are on this flyover, this crossing over from between Oluku here to Auchi. Ask them, go and check if they have a vehicle that can be used to track a kidnapper. Now, every month, the governors, they collect the security vote. There is no audit for it. There is no question about it. And things are going wrong. And it is about the people. Okay. Now, when people, we saw the National Assembly making a law against people paying ransom. These are people that cannot make law that will secure the people. And they are talking about those who pay ransom will be punished by the law. And they themselves go with a retinue of security aides. Are these people about the people? Are these people in leadership talking about the people? Okay. Democracy. And let me tell you, Philip, let me tell you, some of this refinery that democratic government have not been able, they are doing turnaround and they are paying money for those who are not working, are built by military regime. The longest bridge in Nigeria today, Tomiland Bridge, was built by military regime. Now we are in democratic regime. The stealing that we are seeing now, you hear money that about 3 generations cannot spend. And after the whole exercise, well, I call it exercise. It's like you are in a gym. After we are bamboos here at NDDC, we are here. About what happened in NDDC. After the drama of the professor, what was the end of the whole thing? Nollywood drama, the man has fallen, and the entire audit of that particular humongous amount of money has been buried. What happened to Funke Adeosun? All the complaints you have about the FAC and NNPC, why they also brought the scandal for her to be out of the country. When a new person came out, everything was swept under carpet. What happened to our money that got burnt in Federal Ministry of Finance in the cold house? Now, we have so many. The corruption in this city.
The aspect of the corruption fight is not what one man can do alone. We've had these different administrations that have tried to tackle this aspect of corruption. And even the anti-graft agencies also.
Yes, what I want to say, I have to comment on that. If Obasanjo started with EFCC, ICPC, and he gave them teeth to bite, to back and bite, and you expected a man who is known to be an anti-corruption angel. What we expected from this government is that as soon as the man came on board, you make a law and have a special court that will try corrupt EFCC matter, ICPC matter. We have a special court. What does it take the president to do that? Have a special court and give a standing order. Every corrupt matter goes with 140 days. After this 140 days, it expires. But look at what we are seeing today. They are giving pardon to people who stole our money. Amnesty is given to them to return back. I think that is a deterrent to those who are potential, who will be a potential thief tomorrow.
Nigerians are looking forward to having a better day, and we always look at every 4 years to make a change. Now, we have these political parties that have turned out their flag bearers. Do you see hope coming to Nigerians in terms of deepening the democratic practice, in terms of having dividends of good governance come 2023 from these churned out flag bearers?
Thank you very much, Philip. Well, it's unfortunate that we're in this situation, and it's obvious that those that held sway, they really don't want, It's like a recycling of certain characters coming back and forth to same offices. So if you look at democratic structure as it were, as it ought to be all around the world, you know, Abraham Lincoln has said this: the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So it rises and falls on the people. But the kind of democracy and democratic structure we have in Nigeria is strange, you know, because you just asked a question with respect to, do I see hope? Now, who are those that are coming out? Are they the real desire of the people? They are not, in their actual sense. Is that they have the money to run around and rally around people.
You mean the political parties did a disservice to the people by bringing those who are not a reflection of the people?
Obviously, we agree to that, because Bishop Igbasa has just explained to us a while ago that 100 million, that's humongous, so much money to pick up a phone. If perhaps maybe Bishop Igbasa wants to run for such office, and will Bishop Igbasa get 100 million?
100 million.
To buy
not to talk of
that's an express of interest for me.
But you can't generalize, because there are other political parties that didn't get up to that, that didn't spend up to that. And also, there are other political parties that brought about a flag bearer that the people seem to really show interest on.
No, hold on. I'm coming there. Now, you talk about that, those that didn't get there to that amount, but it's still humongous for an average Nigerian. We're talking of for the people. We're not talking for the bourgeois. We're not talking for those that are well high up there, having so much money. And moreover, these guys have been in the power, or rather in the system of government. They've been there, and they have amassed so much wealth, have contacts and connections and influences here and there. And this has been the problem. So getting an ordinary, I think Aminu Kano once said, he said Nigeria will never have its way of peace of something like that, by trying to paraphrase, until the son of a nobody, knowing nobody and becoming somebody in a country like this. Is that the case today? That is what we should be asking ourselves. Yes, I know you were talking about, okay, the people. The man, there is nobody that is an ordinary person amongst these leading, political flag bearers of parties. Is it Peter Obi? He has been a billionaire for so long. Is it, what's his name? Atiku Abubakar. You should know, I don't need to tell you. They need no introduction. These men they are moguls, they are financial pillars. So these are the realities on ground. Is it Peter Obi that bought a property in 1996 for £1 million in England?
Are you trying to suggest? Are you trying to suggest that they seem to be having some traces of ill-gotten wealth as a result of?
That's not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not going there. Obviously, of course, a lot of it is there. We cannot wish that away, but that's not my angle of thought. What I'm trying to say is that why can't we get a teacher, some principal, some man who, just like Taisho Larin of blessed memory, and those men that were able to instill this Abraham and this and some men that really pride themselves with so much money. You don't really need to amass.
So we don't need money bags.
We don't need we don't need them in the actual sense. Are you getting it? So if we make it a demystified structure wherein the ordinary person who's got ideas, who could do so much, could be supported. It's not about you bringing your money. It's like you're buying it. At the time you throw money, and we know what happened in delegates and throwing money back and forth. Although a lot of actions and talks have been unveiled on that. That's 12 million, 10 million, whatever millions they have been shared. It's from one person sharing money back and forth. And you expect these persons to come on board to lead well. It's obviously not going to work. So these are the issues we have as a country. So talking about getting a ray of hope, well, I just pray for the country and hope that we get it right someday. But what I'm saying so far, there's no light.
Let me get to Bishop. In your opening statement, you made mention of we having some agencies and all that. Now, can we not say that since 1999 till date, lack of sustaining some of these government agencies that were put in place? For instance, Obasanjo, when he came on board, he brought in Savicom, he brought in ICPC and all that. Now, can we not say lack of sustaining some of these agencies is the reason why we are not getting it right as a nation?
Now, you see, institutions are weakened by people that does not have the same vision of founding fathers of those institutions. Okay. Because if you look at it, you see that when Yar'Adua came on board, almost some persons that were indicted by EFCC, ICPC were also given leeway out. Or some of them, their judgment from a court of appeal they said they have clean slate. They can go home and go and sit down. Some of them were arrested by other countries, other nations, but our country here, our jurists here, in their own wisdom, said they have no case to answer. But jurists elsewhere, in the same society, they were able to apprehend those persons. Now, that shows you that we need to have, what you said is right, that when a man leaves power, what he believes in that was established, the other person shifts out of it because he felt that that's not the way to go. But I think that if we have strengthened these things to some extent, we will have gotten it, because I expected the government that come on board to be able to say, okay, we are having a special court for corrupt practices, and this is the specified time for it. It must not pass 120 days. Whatever you want to do, the judgment must be given within 120 days. There is nothing like plea bargain. If there is going to be plea bargain, we want you to come out to talk about it. And if you see it, that one of the reasons why this government of the day came on board is that, we are environmental sanitation. We are going to wash everywhere clean. We are the angel of white. We are going to, but
angel of white.
Yes, angel white. The people there are black. We are going to fumigate everywhere. Give us opportunity. $1 to $1. This one is going to happen. We are going to cover heaven. Then when rain fall, it will not touch ground. It will just go somewhere. We have a tunnel somewhere. We turn it around. Now I see Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming out now to come and tell us. He was the same person who introduced President Buhari to us. When problem happened in America, it was a general that ended it. When problem happened in UK, it was. You see, they destroy history so that our children will not be able to go back. That's why you see they fight history, because they don't. We were here in 1983. We knew what we went through. And people like us here were on this platform here, 2014. We spoke and we aired our view, and people said we are senseless. But today, I thank God. Out of the 23 things I said that time in 2014, 22 has been done by this present president. Okay. And I think if anybody is going to call me a prophet, a fake prophet, well, somebody that has 22 out of 23, I think that's a distinction.
That's a good one.
And I said, the man didn't disappoint me, because I analyzed those things then. But I thank God that it is something that is visible. It's not something that is in.
And of course, he still have like 11 months.
11 months to complete. And so we may still have that one to complete the 23. So this is the issue we are talking about. Okay. And you see that if you look at, you see, even here now, we cannot speak freely. That's the same way in 1984. We cannot speak freely. When we say something here, and say it's the opinion of Bishop Igbasa. It's also a tactical.
That means you are speaking freely now.
It's the opinion of
expressing your opinion.
It's not the opinion of this station. It's the opinion of Bishop Igbasa. So you have exonerated yourself. Now even you yourself, you can't ask me questions that you really want to ask me, because the operation does not allow you to ask me. Was that what was on board when Freedom of Information Bill was signed by another president of yesterday? That you can ask questions, you can go somewhere and ask. You remember when the issue of Honor came on board, and people say, okay, let us go and check what other appointees signed, and all the rest. You know, they shut their door. They shut their door, that you cannot come there and come and ask us. The same people that brought out one man's own, that tells you how biased people are as far as democracy is concerned. I think that, you see, the same people in the days of Jonathan, when Jonathan said, let us save for the rainy day, the same people that took Jonathan to Supreme Court and brought the money and wasted it within the governors and said there's no tomorrow, they are the people running around today. They run around and talk as if people like us don't have brain. And they don't want us to flash back because they don't want history. They thought the people they are talking to are fool. I think that the time has come. To me, if you talk of hope, it is only going to be in the word of God that you are going to see.
So
hope.
Are we now saying we are not practicing democracy?
No, what we are practicing here, I tell you, let me give you an example. You see, when a president loves education, you will see the education system of the government will be good. That tells you that it is all about the person that is seated. You see, our Supreme Court came up and told us that it doesn't matter. You may not have a certificate. You can be a VC of Unibe. You may not have a certificate. You can go and become anybody anywhere. What was their reason? How did they arrive there? Did they say that time when we have Jonathan? But that tells you that men are stronger than our institution.
Okay, political parties are at present, seeking for ways to get their vice president candidates. is across political parties right now. Now, there's this impression being generated by the public about the Muslim ticket. What do you think about that in political parties, turning out their vice presidential candidates?
Yes, I know a whole lot of, because of what is happening in the country and this mutual suspicion. I remember when MK Abiola and Alhaji Babagana came to be 93, that was a Muslim ticket. And Nigerians all came out in mass, and we're not divided along ethnic and religious lines. You know, what we are seeing today, I don't subscribe to that, so to speak. There's nothing like a Christian Muslim or Muslim in the actual sense. What we're looking for is good leadership, you understand? And don't try to play politics with religion. I think that's basically what some of these elites and leaders have done over time. It's had nothing to do with a Muslim, because we have seen Muslim or Christian Muslim. Jonathan was a Christian, and Nigeria didn't have it all well, and that Buhari is here, a Muslim, and so what? Professor Shibanjo is a Muslim, rather Christian, and what has that got to do with what's happening in the country?
So you mean it doesn't count? Even if you have the president as a Muslim, the vice president as a Muslim, it doesn't count. Don't forget the fact that we have heterogeneous background, we have religious lines. Can this quell?
It's only being used as a tool. Okay. You understand? The Christian come on board. Is he going to start preaching the Bible as it were because of Christian values, or we are guided by the Constitution?
Some say it can bring a balance.
I disagree.
It can also serve as a check.
In as much as we always talk about Christian, how about the Orthodox practice and those African religious practice? We don't consider them.
Okay, are you saying we shouldn't at present now we have the president, President Muhammad Buhari as a Muslim, and
yes,
the vice president is Christian,
yes,
Yemi Osinbajo.
Yes.
Are you saying that there's no balance in terms of what the vice president brings?
What has Professor Shibanjo been able to achieve being vice president, witnessing the killing of Christians and the whole of stuff happening around? What has he been able to do?
Are you not sure it would have gone worse if it wasn't?
I don't think so. The truth is this. You know, being a Christian, you know, the way the Constitution is now, the vice president to a great extent really have nothing to do. It's more or less like a spare tire. The president decides everything. So what you say, Muslim, if the president, just know who, you know, is the president, is what he decides that counts. Until he allows you to be, you can't do nothing. So if a professor of law, at least is savvy enough, is well intelligent, he knows himself, he knows what to do, if he's allowed. So but the Constitution didn't give him that power. Okay. So that's why whether you are a Muslim or Christian Muslim, we're still coming back to the Constitution. Whoever is president decides everything to a great extent.
Okay, what's your opinion about that?
I have a different opinion. My opinion is a bit different from that of Barrister. My opinion is that what Barrister said is the right thing. That is, the president have the ultimate power. Like I said here, I said all over the world, after God Almighty, witches and wizards, the next person that is more powerful in the world is Nigeria president. Anybody that is Nigeria president, either you are a cripple or you are a madman, in as much as you are a Nigeria president, you are the most powerful person. In fact, you are more powerful than the president of America. If America president want to enter Keke Napep and the National Assembly says, sir, why don't you take Okada? They will call the president to come back and take the Okada, but you dare not say it here. You dare not say it to Nigeria president. Everything Nigeria president does is right. And if you look at it, you will see that we have never had it like this as far as politics is concerned. I've never seen where delegates are roofing their house because they were made delegates of an election, that they have gone to roof their house. Some people have married 2 other wives. Some people have gone to lay foundation, buy house, buy land in places. People have bought house now because of a delegate, not even election. It's just you are a delegate to tell a man. So the man has gone to buy land.
There's no proof that it was from the proceeds.
I'm telling you, Philip, if I tell you something, you will know that I'm not talking. There are people we know that they have bought house in the last 2 weeks now, and we know that it is not God that provides. We know it is the devil that provided through making them a delegate. and to make the life of people delicate in Nigeria. People are buying cars. Go and see. Some people have married 2 other wives now. I was in Orogun on Saturday. I know some people that I know for a very long time that are trusting God. And at the end of the day, it is this issue of this thing. They say, now carry us up back again, back on track.
Okay.
Is that a testimony for what
Muslim ticket?
What I see is that if you look today, we have 27 security service chiefs. 25 of them are Islam. Only 2 are Christian. But as far as our country is concerned, where we have gotten to now, anybody that come with Christian ticket or Muslim ticket, the person should be ready to arrive at a failing point. At this level we have found ourselves, because we cannot continue in this divisive manner that we have started since 2015. Go and check the election of 2015. It displayed division. It displayed religious disconnection. It display ethnic disconnection, and we are continuing with that direction. So I feel that anybody that is trying to do it is just taking another religion. I won't say another religion. Let me say Christian, because almost I think the 2 dominant parties now, they have Muslim president, which is supposed not to be in the first place, because we have a Muslim president that is ending 8 years. So if the Christian community have bear it now to have Muslim presidential aspirant, they must not dare it again to go and pick a Muslim to be their vice president. Even though we know that the constitution did not give the vice president any assignment, but for them to balance and give us sense of belonging, because for us to bear them to even showcase Muslim president after coming out of 8 years. And they now want to do Muslim this thing again for 8 years, when it is not a Muslim country. If they try it and they feel that INEC is in their hand to press like keyboard, we will also show them that PVC is more powerful than INEC.
Thank you very much, Bishop Austin Basana, for taking our time to be part of this show. Thanks a lot, Dr. Patrick Awo side here. We'll take a short break. Do stay with us.